Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to analyze if Watershed should venture into the short-term rental market. Home is where the heart is, and that is no different for when people travel. People like the comforts of home even when they are away. Airbnb is in high demand, so I was not surprised when you asked me to analyze if this is a good business venture. I did some background research. Airbnb, the largest home sharing network with over 2 million listings worldwide, is newly targeting business travelers, the bread and butter clientele of hotels. Where do we begin? What properties should we focus on? Well, there are certain perimeters that we need to go over. We're going to assume there's 244 properties, and we're focusing on a 97.3 occupancy rate. $30,000 will be the initial capital required, with a depreciation over 5 years. $6,000 in cash will be needed for each property over the first conversion year. $3,600 a year will be for the utilities. The hospitality fee, which will be a variable cost, it will be $100 per stay. The average length of stay will be 3 nights. There will be a transaction fee of 30%. 10% of the rental fee should be budgeted for potential regulatory and legal fees. 20% of the rental fee should be budgeted for the online short-term rental provider, Airbnb. And we're assuming that all clients pay on time. Things that we're going to ignore, we're ignoring the impact of any weekly or seasonal changes in rent or occupancy rate, marketing strategies like discounts or coupons, special events during the year that might affect the rentals in one specific location, loss in rent during the year, the time interval when properties are being converted to short-term rental properties. We found that there are 41, through my calculations, I found there were 41 profitable properties. Roughly 17.43%. The capital expenditure needed will be $30,000 times the 41 properties, which is $1.23 million. Profits of the conversion year are $1,373,212. Profits after conversion year, $1,127,212. The cash flow of the conversion year will be $389,212. The cash flow after conversion year will be $1,373,212. I did some further analysis. The expected profits and needed capital expenditure would change if my assumptions are modified. So one thing I know we're focused on properties that are above the $6,000 cutoff, but I was wondering at 30%, but I was wondering what would you do if you changed the transaction fee to 40%? How many properties are above the 6,000 cutoff at a 40% transaction fee instead of the 30%, holding all other assumptions constant? Maybe 26 properties. A difference of 15 properties if the transaction fee increases to 40%. Watershed Properties added a memo. They had a financial meeting early today, and they shared that they recently reviewed their finances and decided that they are not willing to take out loans to finance any part of the short-term rental project with their client. However, they are comfortable committing $500,000 of Watershed's current cash reserves as working capital for the project in order to fund capital investments and to cover any resulting negative cash flow. My goal is to maximize profits using the $500,000 committed by Watershed. So then I looked again and I realized we can start phase 1 with 16 properties. 16 properties times the $30,000 be $480,000. Profits from the conversion year will be $885,375. Profits after the conversion year will be $789,378. The cash flow for the conversion year will be $501,378. The cash flow after conversion year will be $885,378. Here are all the properties. Here are the 16 properties listed, and you can see the various locations these properties exist. And they're all surrounded by water. So it seems like the most profitable properties that Watershed offers are those properties that are by the water. Should Watershed enter the short-term rental market with its clients' properties? Yes. Through my calculations and analysis, I've maximized profits while reducing risk.